people adjust with this so they're not screwed by that, and this and that so they're not, not staying
I really like how it sort of talks about, like, it's like time, and then as it goes on, it's like mapping out everything. And it definitely makes me think of like time and space and like distance as well, and what we do within that distance and how we like navigate that. And yeah,
I think that the line is like very inviting to follow. And it's kind of like we're following your steps with your traits.
Thinking about the drawing by itself, it's kind of like, I can almost picture what I'm seeing on the video, but without the video. Like I can kind of just see that you've like physically drawing it all, without like seeing you drawing it all, like the drawing by itself.
With the mark making method, which was your finger, right? Charcoal on your finger, or is it with an actual?
It's with a piece of compressed charcoal, which is the smaller piece I have to remove it.
It actually kind of reminds me of Simon Morrison's work. Like the wall drawing element, but a floor. And a similar sort of like use of time and like actually creating a space. And yeah, like
Meditative practice of like drawing.
yeah.
I really like the screen.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It works really good for getting us to follow the line, you know.
I feel like the journey of this room starts from actually outside the door with the sound element, because you're in touch before you walk in with the sound. So I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I feel like having the sound element of like the raw,
is that the sound of the paper?
the paper, whether it was the tearing or just feeling in touch with this journey into the scrapes from the floor.
the beeping definitely makes me think of a heartbeat, and then the red, and it makes me think of like veins or something.
Or like the
The beeping's just because the doors stay open. It's
Yeah,
the
I
annoying,
know, it
nasty
still makes me
beepingness.
think of something.
So it's
It's interesting watching you act to the lines, but sort of also feeling in the audience, being aware of the noise and aware of the journey in on your line. And also kind of those questions at the start where we take our shoes off, things like that, so we're kind of aware of ourselves making marks, and then we see you making marks. Just wonder if you've considered like leaving charcoal around, so maybe we start adding to the lines, or there's a place of a leave behind when we leave.
Yeah, I was wondering that when someone said, oh yeah, but it's more interactive, because we're scratching the paper, like, which made me think of, the Yokolona where people make the blue mark around the boat. I thought, that's not that interactive. Like how much we really invited to make marks, we don't need to charcoal.
So at the time that you spent very slow during each individual, but then how we just walked across it and made hours of it without even like putting any care into all this. Like it was very clear, carefully drawn, but I was just like, oh, I'm gonna walk it in here.
I really enjoy the multiplication and layering of the bridge. And yeah, the pinkness. It has an exuberance that for me is missing from the paper. And I think it's just because this is a gesture I've seen too often in the last decade of something being following the trace of an artist's movement through space, and it being the trace of a body but very dry. And the floor is scratchy. For me, the wall is a bit more fishy, which I like. It feels more like an exuberant expulsion from your body of mark making rather than a kind of dry cartographic recording of a path.
when I did get fully into the space, I was kind of looking around at the video work, going like, where do I put myself? Do I view this as a mat for me to sit on, or like, I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea if you want something like that within the space, or what would that add to the work? But yeah.
I like how just because I followed the thing as close as I could immediately because I wanted to see how that would change what I view it as. With the layering on this, that makes me feel a little back on that because I felt disorientated, very disorientated following that line because I didn't know which way my head should be, which foot I should lead with, if I'm spinning, if I'm moving, and then seeing that mapping on the video, he's doing it as well. So I was wondering if, I feel like you have to make it really clear for people to follow the line if you want that disorientated feeling, because realistically I'm just kind of strange and I just did that.
On the decision to like use multiple pieces of paper, like whole layering kind of effect and different gaps in between how much each of the pieces of paper is like shown. It's like a patchwork kind of, or if it's like representative of like a journey, it's like the memory of the journey and patching together that memory instead of just using two long sheets of paper.
I guess that's kind of speaks to the video how it's overlaid and stuff like that.
Do you think all about that line there, joining up with the line on the video, so that sort of weaves us into the...
I feel like that would take away from the intention that I originally had for this line, which is interesting because I think some people have touched on the intention that I wanted for this line and the intention of where this space comes to. I feel like I should start contextualizing what this is all about now.
Just before you go there, we did, of course, we always play the associations we make with kind of like seismographs and mapping and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But also, to me, it's also just about drawing. It's a non-representational line. It's just the joy of kind of movement and kind of leaving a trace. And I exist, I've left a trace, and it doesn't look like, sorry, this will sound rude, but it doesn't look like you have to have all the facility in the world to kind of make this mark. So it doesn't look like writing. It's like, yeah, drawing, celebration of drawing. We can all draw and marks. There's some of that quality as well. Yeah, so I just want to get that out before you tell us what you were after.
No, that's interesting.
I love how you've dressed your trousers to match as well.
Yeah, say I it's color
It's a uniform.
You and Lily with the horror.
Cool. Well, so my practice as a whole, so I come from a design background, but before that I come from a theatre background. So this is kind of my mashup of trying to decide or trying to discover my design, artistic and theatrical practice. What I've been working with for this semester is the ideas of chaos theory. If anyone knows what chaos theory is. So it's sort of this idea that there is this underlying equation to what we believe is chaos, but it's actually something that's very ordered. And it's a movement that is pre-set out. So it's something that pretty much everything in existence follows across. And then I was also looking at ideas of the differences between what a labyrinth is and what a maze is. So if people don't know the difference, a labyrinth is a singular path. There is no wrong choice that you can make in a labyrinth. It's only a form of meditation. And you sort of take this path as a journey that you walk down and you enter into the central space where you meditate on such ideas. So what I'm kind of talking about with this line is I was inviting myself to think about whether or not there is this sort of predetermination behind existence and behind these journeys that we take, the pathway. We all sort of start in one place and we all sort of end in one place, which is death. But the journey that we each individually take as people can vary so much. But what I'm kind of saying is that, well, what I'm inviting the thinking of the space is that